My parents always chose my sister until the day she needed me most. Ever since I can remember, my parents made it clear who their favorite was. My sister, Emily, straightest student, cheer captain, the perfect daughter. And me? I was just there, the spare kid in family photos, the afterthought at dinners. I used to think it was normal until the day I realized it wasn't neglect. It was punishment. When I turned 16, I didn't even get a cake. My mom forgot completely. Emily got a car that same year. I got a maybe next time, but I kept telling myself they love me just differently. It wasn't until that night that illusion finally shattered. It was Emily's graduation party. The house was packed, lights strung everywhere. Everyone was laughing, proud of her. My name wasn't mentioned once. I stayed in the kitchen helping mom with trays when I overheard her whisper, "I just wish we had to Emily's." Something inside me cracked. I left the party, walked all night until sunrise. I promised myself I'd leave that house and never come back. But you can't just erase family. They have a way of finding you when it hurts the most. 3 years later, I got a call from my dad. His voice was trembling, desperate. "It's your sister," he said. "She's in the hospital." I hadn't heard from them in years. I didn't know whether to hang up or rush there, but something told me I had to go. When I walked into that hospital room, Emily looked tiny, pale. She smiled weakly when she saw me. "You came," she whispered. My parents stood in the corner, silent. For the first time, they looked at me like I actually mattered, but I didn't come for them. Emily had been in a car accident, drunk driver. They said she was lucky to be alive, but her recovery would take months. Mom burst into tears the moment she saw me, clutching my arm like we were suddenly close again. "You're her only sibling," she said. "She needs you." I wanted to laugh. Now I was her sibling. When Emily got everything and I got scraps, I wasn't needed. But now that the perfect daughter was broken, they wanted me to fix her. I almost walked out, but when I looked at Emily, I couldn't. She looked terrified. That night, after visiting hours ended, I sat alone in my car, hands shaking. I didn't hate Emily. I hated how they made me hate her. Every achievement she had was something they used to remind me I'd never measure up. But none of that mattered anymore. Over the next few weeks, I visited every day. Emily could barely move at first, but she'd smile whenever I walked in. We started talking again, really talking, about the years I missed, about her college life, even about mom and dad. One afternoon, she said something that stopped me cold. "You know, I always envied you." I actually laughed. "Envied me for what?" She smiled sadly. "You never had to be perfect." I spent my whole life terrified of disappointing them. It hit me like a truck. The same parents who ignored me had crushed her under impossible expectations. Maybe we were both victims, just in different ways. For the first time, I didn't see my sister as the enemy. I saw her as someone who'd been trapped too. Months passed. Emily got stronger. We grew closer. But mom started getting jealous of us. "She needs rest, not drama," she'd snap when I visited. Dad avoided me completely. It was like they wanted to freeze time, keep Emily dependent, keep me distant. Then one evening, Emily called me in tears. "Mom's taking away my therapy money," she said. "She says it's too expensive." I didn't think. I drove over that night. Mom met me at the door, cold as ice. "You don't belong here anymore," she said. I pushed past her and went straight to Emily's room. She was crying on the floor, clutching her phone. "I can't do this without therapy," she whispered. I promised her she wouldn't have to. I'd pay for it myself. When mom heard that, she exploded. "You're just trying to make us look bad," she screamed. Dad stepped between us. "Stop," he said, but his tone wasn't protective, it was exhausted. Like this family had been rotting for years and no one wanted to admit it. I left that night shaking with anger. I didn't care what they thought anymore. Emily deserved better, we both did. From then on, I helped her secretly, paid for therapy, drove her to appointments, and kept everything quiet. But secrets never stay buried. A month later, Dad showed up at my apartment. "We know you've been meddling," he said. "You're confusing your sister." I laughed bitterly. "You mean helping her heal?" His face twisted. "She's fine. She doesn't need you." He turned to leave, but I stopped him. "Why did you hate me so much?" I asked. He didn't answer for a long time. Then he said quietly, "Because you remind me of me, and I never liked who I was." That line stuck in my head for days. The man who'd made me feel invisible finally admitted his own reflection scared him. Maybe he saw my failures as his own. Maybe hating me was easier than facing himself. Emily kept improving. Her therapist said she was making progress faster than expected. She even started walking again, one shaky step at a time. Watching her laugh made something inside me soften, Like maybe the years apart weren't wasted after all. Then one night, my phone rang again. It was Emily sobbing. "They're selling my car," she said. "Mom says I don't deserve it if I can't drive yet." That car was her independence, her symbol of getting better. I drove straight there. Mom was in the driveway arguing with a beer. I lost it. "She needs that car," I shouted. "She's your daughter, not your project." Mom's face turned red. "You don't get to tell me how to raise my child," I fired back. "I'm your child too." That silence hit harder than any slap. For years, I'd been waiting for her to deny it, to say, "Of course you are," but she didn't. She just stared at me like she wished I'd never shown up that night in the hospital. I left before I said something I couldn't take back. Emily called later to apologize, but she didn't need to. I told her I wasn't angry at her, just tired. Tired of fighting for scraps of love. Weeks passed. Emily finally moved into her own apartment. She invited me to her housewarming, just the two of us. We ate takeout on the floor and talked about everything we'd lost and what we still had. She told me she'd been journaling in therapy. She wrote about how her parents' love felt like a spotlight, warm for her, cold shadows for me, and how she finally realized neither of us had ever felt safe in it. Then she handed me a small notebook. "I wrote this for you," she said. It was full of memories, drawings from childhood, letters she never sent, apologies she never got to say. I couldn't read past the first page without crying. After that night, we started rebuilding slowly. Holidays were just the two of us. We stopped chasing our parents' approval. It wasn't easy, but it was ours. Then, a year later, we got another call. Dad had a heart attack. We went to the hospital together. Mom was there, red-eyed and shaking. When she saw us, she whispered, "He asked for both of you." We went into his room. He looked smaller than I remembered. "I messed up," he said weakly. "I thought loving one meant protecting the other from disappointment. I was wrong." Emily squeezed his hand, tears streaming. I just stood there, unsure if I should forgive him or let the silence speak. Finally, I said, "You can still fix it. Just tell her you're proud." He turned to Emily. "I always was." He passed 2 days later. The funeral was quiet, awkward. People whispered about how strong Mom was, but she looked hollow. After the service, she pulled me aside. "I don't know how to do this," she said. "Be a mother to both." I didn't know how to answer. But Emily stepped in, "Then learn," she said softly. And for once, Mom didn't argue. Months later, I got a letter from Mom. She was in therapy now too. She wrote that she'd spent years trying to mold us into reflections of what she wished she'd been and forgot to love, who we actually were. Reading that broke something open in me. For the first time, I felt peace. Not forgiveness, exactly, but closure. Maybe that was enough. Emily and I talk every day now. She's walking without a cane, working, even dating again. Sometimes we laugh about the old days, not because they were funny, but because we survived them. Last Christmas, Mom came over. She brought 2 gifts, one for Emily, one for me. They were identical photo frames, both holding the same picture, the two of us, laughing together on the hospital bed years ago. She said, "That's the day I realized what family really means." We didn't say anything. We just hugged her. For once, it felt real, messy, painful, but real. Sometimes I still think about that old version of me, the invisible kid standing behind the perfect sister. But now I know something I didn't then. I was never less loved, just lost in a family that didn't know how to love right. And somehow, we found our way back.